That's my door shut. Oh. Oh no, we're not live. That's right. Well, I can open up Megafac. Ooh, yes, excellent. Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Satisfactory. I'm going to be continuing to do some things today. I didn't stream last week. I wasn't feeling too great. An awful lot of stress at work, and so it's just a case of you don't want to. I don't particularly want to stream when I'm feeling sort of stressed. But all that's done with now, so hopefully we'll be able to do Hearts of Iron tomorrow, depending on how I feel. Not feeling too great at the moment. I think it's just at the end of all the sort of the stress. My body's just kind of thinking, now I can just be me, and be really irritating as a result. Anyway. So yesterday I watched a video on Satisfactory, which kind of got me back into it again, because I wanted to continue my trains, because I've got trains everywhere now. But so an update has dropped to the Satisfactory experimental. I'm just on the standard one for the moment. So there's a whole bunch of train fixes for stuff, but also, rather interestingly, they are adding cloud saves, which is, it's progress. It is progress. It's interesting to see how the Epic Game Store is evolving as well, and from the looks of things, it's I feel like the Epic Game Store was a little bit rushed in its release. They kind of thought, we can just release it like this, and actually no, they probably couldn't release it in the way that they did. But that's by the by, really. It's over and done with. It's been released, and now they've kind of got to catch up there. Certainly you can see why maybe they don't have all the store features in place, because before they didn't need them. And so the store wasn't set up for, checkout or anything like that, because why would you? There were only 2 games on there and both of them were free. So, yeah, I do feel that it was a little bit rapidly released. But, I don't know, it's one of those things where maybe you don't need all the features Steam has. Maybe some of the features that Steam has are absolute tripe and really need to be, sorted out. Like, for example, the lack of global moderation that goes beyond just. Did you break the Steam rules? No. Well, we can't judge on it now. Okay. Yeah. Had issues in the past with forums. So, yeah, well, ultimately we'll just kind of see what happens. But, it doesn't help really that there's an awful lot of misinformation out there about the Epic Game Store, an awful lot of the same rubbish that's repeated over and over again that, okay, Tencent have a stake in Epic Game Store. So what? They own Riot outright, but you don't really see much of people saying, well, we own Riot Games. Just generally nobody really cares. But for some reason they care about the Epic Game Store. Epic Games having Tencent having a 40% stake in Epic Games, and again, with the Fortnite thing as well. Well, I don't play Fortnite, so why would I get the Epic Game Store? Because actually, there's quite a lot of good games on the Epic Game Store now. This, for example, and I hope this does come to Steam as well, because those people who are sort of sticking it to the man will support Steam as well instead, who are just totally the man. Anyway, whatever your motives for not using Epic Game Store, people don't use it. I don't really care. But this is a fabulous game, and I hope it does come to Steam so that those people who are sticking out for the game to finally come on Steam can actually play it, because it's a fantastic factory builder. And it's one that isn't really afraid to get its hands dirty either. And I think that's, it's got its set sort of rule set, as it were. Is that more oil over there? That's more oil. That's good. That is indeed more oil. There's loads more oil over there. Okay, right. That's useful to know. Currently, I'm working on the oil area. That's why I'm over here today, which you may not have. Actually, you won't have seen. And actually, yeah. Okay, we're going to do a tour in a second. Well, let's do the tour now. In fact, why not? So this is Plastic Paradise. The area makes more than plastic. It makes rubber as well and power. It's making these fuel canisters which go into the oil generator there, and I'll have more oil generators as time goes on down here, and I'll sort of all set it up so that we wean ourselves off the coal and more onto oil, and that's quite important because if we can do that, then we've got more coal for steel, and we're going to need an awful lot more steel. So yeah, so we've got a train station over here, the idea being that it's going to make plastic, it's going to make the rubber, it's going to funnel it all into actually, can I, on the basis that I think I did just break something down, can I put the other one in? Yep, I can put the other oil refinery in now, and I'll do that. So yeah, so this area will just make plastic and rubber and all sorts, and let's actually put it the right way around this time. No, that's not what I wanted you to do at all. So that goes into there, and then that one goes into there. We set that up for rubber. I'm going to need a bit of rubber for things. I can't afford that one, but I can afford my next power pole. So that goes into there, that goes into there, and that goes into there, somewhere over here. Which I can't afford that one either. Having a bit of problem with power poles right now. If I take that one out and I drop one of my newer ones in, I can't do it because I've got no concrete. Let's borrow that for a moment. Okay, so that's now making stuff, and I'll just make sure that we haven't just cooked the power supply. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we are. So that is how much I'm making. This is the line of how much I'm using. When the power starts up, it's a real drain on everything. So if you're pretty much borderline like I am, pretty much, you might need to shut down some things, start up your entire power grid, and then turn those things on once the other things have shut down. It's but it's quite a nice little mechanism. Okay, so let's go on a little bit of a tour, because this is essentially a small factory as far as I'm concerned. It's a satellite station. It's taking one resource and it's turning it into 3 resources, and then that will be taken into the rest of the factory. We've got a little bridge over here, and we'll go over the bridge. All of this will be stripped out now. I just need to connect the train station up to the main power grid properly, because the power does run through the rails. But all of this will be stripped out completely, along with these cables over here, and all of that as well. All of this will be going, and all the cables, because ultimately I'm not going to need them. They'll just be dead weight, and I can probably put in a roadway just to make it a little bit smoother, a little bit easier to navigate, especially in the fog, because when the fog comes down I just can't see anything. But that's all stuff I can do later on once this is a little bit more complete. Okay, so this factory is going to be coming out. along with the next one along. Another update that they added in the experimental, I believe, is the ability to deconstruct sections of Factory, not just one at a time. I'm very much looking forward to that, because I've got an awful lot that needs to be torn out. Mainly because this is going to be my new factory, and I did a lot of moving things around yesterday. So my space elevator was over there, it's now in here. My hub was just over there, it's now in here. So I've got my hub and my space elevator next to one another. And then down here are going to be the assemblers for the modular frames. And then on the other side, just a little bit further down, I've got, actually may as well just pick those up now. I have the, let's go into here, I have the tunnel, which isn't quite complete. There's an awful lot more roofing to put on, but over here I've got my computers. For now, the computers just sort of go into here. So I've got a few computers that I can submit to my gas mask operation. And yeah, that's pretty much the factory. Up here, oh yeah, there's an awful lot more. I'll take the train, I think, actually, for this bit. I need a way to get the car up to the train station without driving quite so far, but it's fine. I can't remember where the train thing comes in. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, it's there. Right. So now, this is fine. This will be sort of, I'll have it sort of running along there and then coming out somewhere over there, so that when I've got the trucks moving along, that's not going to sort of snag on anything. But moving up here, we have our train station, and I've got a lot of stuff here. No power. Why have I got no power? What? I'm pretty much borderline power related, but be alright, right? I may need to get some more power in before I can use, yeah. Something hit max capacity, and it's now just cooking the grid. Right, that's fine, I think, possibly. If enough stuff is in here, we might be able to get another power generator up. Not enough stuff is in here. Huh. Right. If I turned off that assembler, I might have enough juice to at least get the power online. Might need to turn off the train station though. I'll try turning the train station off. Need to get power back online so that I can actually make the modular frame, so that I can make what I need. So I need to make another one of these. I've got everything except the modular frames. Okay. Where was that? I can't turn the train station off. Okay, assembler then. That might be good enough to get the power back online. Yeah. Because I think the oil refineries I've got do draw an awful lot of juice from the system. And intermittently at that. Let's try that. Do we have a power pole? No, that's not good enough. Okay. Right, I'm going to turn off a couple of refineries. It shouldn't be... yeah, that'll get them. Yeah, that'll get my power back online. I don't really need the second. Okay, are we back? Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, I don't know why that dropped out there. So welcome back. We are in the mist. I don't know where I am. I've no idea. I know that way is a locomotive, and that way is a tree. I think we're in the water at the moment, which is fine. I've got to be careful because the ocean is somewhere. That's all back to where. Oh God! Right, that's the ocean. Okay, yeah, I know where I am from here. I can just sort of skirt around. Yeah, as I said, the mist comes down and you just can't see a thing. That's kind of why I want to get a road up instead of what I've currently got here, which is sort of a series of lines. Once I find my way to the lines, I can work it out from there, but actually I can take that out, and that will help with the power, because that won't be trying to run. It's not good enough yet. Those refineries are just going to have to come off, I think. We've got nothing up here that's taking power. So yeah, just take out those refineries. Oh, right, so all of this is offline. That's fine. It's not fine. Right. So this one can be turned off. And the one over here as well. I need to get myself some of those Blade Runners. Right, this should now start up, I hope. Damn it. Can I turn off this? Yeah, okay, we're back online. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a little fun to get that back online. Okay, that's fine. Obviously we need more power. I reckon another fuel generator will do it. And then yeah, just basically working on that. But I can continue with my tour now, thankfully. Yeah, so we'll go and pick up the train just because it's a little easier to get through the various nightmarish scenarios. I'm just running it off crude at the moment because I've got so much just spare, just lying around. Okay, so yeah, so all of this is going to be coming out and being moved in various ways over to there. All of this is being taken out as well. So it will just be a single sort of roadway, I guess, that goes down towards there, possibly in the same style, but the thing is that I don't see any current point to do a sort of a big complicated roadway, apart from maybe just a bridge with some sides on it. Just because, but then again, it might be useful in the future. I might want to future-proof it by building the tunnel system like up this way and then around that corner. I just don't know. I just don't know if we're going to need to go over there as well. So I guess I should probably future-proof it. But anyway, let's head over to the other part of the factory. Well, I do need to get another explorer up there as well, but I'll just vaguely point to things. So, going up here, we get to the train. So the train does actually require an awful lot of juice. Do have to be a little bit careful actually, because that's going to cook the grid if I'm not careful. So it's a variable, it's got a motor in it and uses juice in order to get going. Once it's going, it doesn't need as much power, but you do have to be a little bit careful if you've got a borderline power supply like I've currently got. Right. And into Screw Central. Now Screw Central is that was Screw Central. I'll get it on the way back actually. So Screw Central provides screws to the system. Over there is copper wire. Currently I'm moving copper wire to the steel area by conveyor belt, partly because well, I was in the process of switching over from railway to the other thing, so I wasn't quite. It's going to be an interesting one getting out of there actually, because I haven't built enough railway at the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll the train down to here and then I'll get out. But yeah, so we've got concrete over there. That main area is steel production. And then in the far distance is all the coal. And that's sort of my next sort of big thing to get rid of, is my coal supply. Oh, I'm running in the wrong direction. Get rid of my coal supply, so that all that's going into making steel. And replacing it with oil generators, which make so one oil generator will produce as much power as 3 coal generators at base, and we can upgrade them a little bit as well. Excellent, we've got 76 there. So yeah, I'm going to basically be continuing to run around and build powered systems and generally upgrade things. I do like these sorts of factory builders. It's I guess 3D Factorio would be the best sort of example of this game. Only the thing about Factorio is that you have a goal, which is to escape the situation you find yourself in. In this game, there just isn't. It's literally you are here to make factories and send components off world. That's it. There's no let's roll it back a bit. There's nothing there other than you're basically just stripping this planet for its resources, and that's it. That's all you're doing. And it's a good premise for a game of you could, if you wanted to, just upgrade your hub and then live there for the rest of your life. But why should you? You might want to make things a little easier for yourself, and then you actually make things harder for yourself, and then you make things easier for yourself. That's sort of the sort of a good cycle for these games, is because you are moving forwards in a tech tree, you want the bigger and better things, obviously, but actually getting there is quite complicated. But once you're there, making more of those things is quite easy. It's a good sort of balance to get into, I think. Anyway, coming up on... So this is going to be where all the iron comes in. The main depot for iron. And then it will be stored in silos, essentially. And then be distributed either via conveyor belts or through trucks to various sort of areas. But the important thing is that everything needs to come into this area first. Now, my power just shut down again. Possibly because it wanted to do something it wasn't able to do. Oh, Jesus Christ, we're so close to that line. Okay, yeah, we need to get that sorted out. I can probably just jump off here, actually. Let's just eat some things. I think another nice touch is that damage to fix-it property detected. You just lost health, but yeah, no, it's the damage to the suit. It's so corporate, I guess. Actually, there we ran out of pipes. Interestingly, not encased industrial beams. Normally, it's the industrial beams I'm running out of, not the pipe. But oh well. We've got sort that back. Okay. So I need 14 frames, which I should be able to do on that. No, 14. Well, yeah, I need 9 more frames. So that's 3 batches from there. That will get me the freight car and the fuel generator I need. And yeah, I haven't even looked at this one yet. So, in case you haven't seen this game before, everything is divided into tiers. So you've got 3 ways, of researching new things. So the first is your hub. Actually, no. So let's just do the space elevator. So no, hub first. So you've got 2 ways of researching things in your hub. You have your hub terminal, which by submitting specific items, you then unlock things. And this is sort of the end point. So this is your end point. So this is always going to give you... So by researching something here, you are always going to get a thing that you can then build. Then you have this terminal in here. So by researching things in here, which are specified, so hard drives, supercomputers and crystal oscillators is currently what I've got, that will give you the ability to research something at your terminal. And the same with the space elevator. Your space elevator unlocks tiers of research. So I'm currently on tier 6 and 7. Sorry, 6 and 7? 5 and 6. I'm on tier 5 and 6. Tier 7 and 8 will unlock reactors and things like that, or they'll unlock the ability to research things like reactors and the like. You still have to go into the terminal to actually research them. So that's what all of that is about. Do I need these computers anymore? I do not. So I can get a little bit... Oh, I needed 5 computers. Okay, fine. I can't... Once I submit them into the system, I can't actually take them out of there. So what I need to do is drive down to the bottom, see what it is that I actually need to give it in order for it to make me more computers, and then go and get those things so that I can get more computers, so that I can not run out of power. Circuit boards which need... Oh god, it needs an assembler, which don't quite have enough components to do. But that will need plastic, which I've got some of on me, I think. That will require plastic and copper wire. So actually it's worth building that down here somewhere. And just for the moment, none of this is... All of this is coming out. It's just a case of finding the right one that gives me the thing that I need. I think it might be this one actually. Yeah, that'll do. So we're going to make an assembler, and this will make us circuits. And I'll just stick it up here somewhere. It's going to be messy, but I just need the circuits to be produced at the moment. Okay, and find a power line to shove that into. That will do. And circuit boards. So that will be made out of plastic, and it will be made out of cable. Okay. So that's going to now make that, and just for nicety's sake, stick it into a... I don't have enough of the rods. Storage containers. Excellent. So that's now just making me circuits, which is good. There are researches I can do that will give me alternate recipes for things that might make me more of those. So at the moment I'm using an alternate recipe to make the heavy modular frames, which actually give me 3 heavy modular frames for the resources that I give them. It's just that the resources that I give them, it might need more processing in order to allow me to make the modular frames. And that's the sort of thing that you get off a hard drive, and it gives you an option of 3 alternate recipes, which are usually a lot better than what you've currently got. Right, I currently got the... So I just need the computers now. And then... yeah, and then I'll be able to get out of this slightly perilous position that I find myself in, where I just got no power to really play with. So where's the... it's up here. But no, it's been an eventful week in the world of England. What happened? Oh yeah, let's talk a little bit about what happened in the world of the United Kingdom. And actually, I think it links quite well in with an awful lot of the games that I play. Is, you know, this is what Britain could be if people wanted to put the money into it. Unfortunately, they don't. And as a result, businesses fail. And, you know, the government are standing there saying, well, we could have helped, but it wouldn't have been, you know, particularly worthwhile doing it. Meanwhile, they spend money giving tax cuts to the very rich, while letting Thomas Cook collapse. Holiday makers are, you know, stuck abroad until they can get a flight home. You know, there are people who have booked, you know, holidays that they may not be able to go on now, and obviously you've got all the staff who are going to be out of a job now. Meanwhile, the heads of Thomas Cook are celebrating because they've managed to get a bailout for some parts of their company, but not all of it. and as a result, some jobs have been saved, but not all of them. And the people at the very top, I suspect, aren't going to be the ones who do particularly badly out of it. But that's the Britain we live in these days. The government could have stepped in. In fact, they were asked to step in by Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook said, "Look, we are failing. Can you give us £250 million in order to keep us afloat, just on the short term, so we can sort of try and sort things out a bit?" And the government turned around and said no, because it's not cost effective. And yeah, this is a government who, you just wonder where they're spending all the money, because it's not going into the NHS, even though they claim that it's going to go into the NHS at some point. I can't do that yet. Why did I drive over here? Let me guess, I drove over here with the circuit. Yeah, I drove the wrong way. I got distracted. Yeah, it's just this utter mess where you've got the government. The thing is that whenever the government are asked to step in, they will find some excuse as to why they can't. When Tata Steel were going under, it should be noted that Tata Steel made some very, very good steel. It's very sort of specialist steel, very strong steel for specialist purposes. And when they were going under, and the government came forward and said, well, we would like to step in, but we can't, because of EU restrictions on... they used the monopoly restriction. We can't possibly step in because it contravenes an EU legislation about monopolies. Problem is that EU legislation, it's to stop monopolies, but it's nothing to do with stopping governments from nationalising industry. It's about it's stopping governments from nationalising all industry and then hiking the prices. So, for example, if the government were to buy up all the steel companies in the UK and then hike the prices, and then say, well, if you want British steel, that's what you're going to have to pay for it, that would be a breach of the monopoly law, not buying up one company in order to save jobs. But that is pretty much the government that we've got these days, looking after the UK. They don't seem to want to take responsibility. There's very little of that going on, and so when you've got the death threats going into the MPs, and they're using Boris's words, and Boris is saying, well, it's not my fault, and Boris continues to use some very, very abrasive language. The right-wingers, extreme right-wingers, I should say, are using to threaten the livelihoods, the lives of MPs. It's not on at all. Death threats, no matter what side of the coin you are on, there are better things out there. There are better ways to show your disappointment in your MPs than death threats. They're just not needed. Let them do their jobs. And if you don't like what they're doing, then either you vote them out or you do civil protest. That's, those are your options. Those are the things that you are allowed to do. So, follow the rules and everybody will be an awful lot happier. It's just a mess, ultimately. This is... If you're a failing industry in the UK, unless you're a bank, then you will not be bailed out by this government. Or, this government. Labour probably would bail you out. But I don't know. I don't like Corbyn's position on Brexit, on the basis that he hasn't really had one for quite some time, not a strong one anyway, and that's going to cause problems the only one that I think is any good at the moment is Joe Swinson. A Lib Dem leader with an awful lot of fire behind her, and it's a case of I support you. I support the ones that stand up for themselves, that can get their point across, that aren't cowed by Boris Johnson and this very sort of bullying attitude that you see in the Houses of Parliament. And I kind of feel for the people looking at this from if you live abroad and you're looking at the House of Commons, and you basically just got school children jeering at one another, and it seems very. I don't really know why I came up here. Just make sure that this is. I think this is unloaded. It's just this very sort of childish environment that you might sort of see it as, and to a certain degree, it is. But rather interestingly, I think it was Monday, possibly, Tuesday, when they came back. Basically, it was a few hours of Boris Johnson slamming Labour, and Labour not really being able to be allowed to speak back. So you've got this very sort of hostile environment where you have a Prime Minister who is attacking the opposition constantly. It's not my fault, it's theirs. It's always their fault. If you think you can do better, then you do. It's all that sort of mentality of, you are stopping me from being able to do what I want to do, and so I'm going to constantly attack you for this. I just lost power again because that thing said no power. Yes, power's gone out again. Power's... Because I've got two systems that are now probably trying to run. This assembler is trying to run, and that one's trying to run as well, and I can't run both of them on my current system. Oof. I'll shut this one down and stop it from running. Oh dear, we've got real problems here. The power won't actually turn on anymore. I'm going to have to shut down another refinery. Well, it's this is practice for when UK leaves with no deal, which is getting more and more likely all the time. Boris Johnson has no intention of getting a deal. I'm sorry to say. This is coming from someone who's, I'm a Remainer. I'm happy to say I'm still a Remainer. What I would say is that I wouldn't be adverse to the UK leaving the EU as long as the UK was in a strong position. However, I do not believe it is. I don't believe that the UK offers anything substantial enough or special enough for the for the EU to really care if the UK leaves. At the moment it's very much a case of, well, if you want to go, then go. And if the car companies want, they might have to move their operations out of the UK, and that's fine. I guess in that respect there'll be an awful lot less power drain because there'll be no factories left. And I do find it very interesting that the people who said that we were going to be better outside of the EU, the industry will be better outside of the EU, they're the ones who are moving their industry abroad. They're moving it out of the UK. So, yeah, right, that one I'll need to leave on. This one I can turn off. Try that. Please turn on. No. I'm going to have to turn off more and more things. I'm hoping to be able to leave that refinery on, if I can. Oh, that's borderline, but yeah, we can do it. Just about. Okay. That's the power crisis solved for another couple of minutes. Yes, I need more power, basically. I can do some things with putting the slugs in, but I don't have any spare. They're all in the coal power stuff, and I can't turn the coal power stuff off yet because I don't have the oil to replace it. It's as simple as, it's just not going to happen. If I start turning the coal stuff off, then the grid is just going to shut down. What I want to do, I think at this point, is get get the second fuel generator up. That's going to take the load off. I should be able to start turning some things back on at that point, and then put that biomass in. If I can then run my factories off those two, then I can start adding fuel generators and taking out coal generators, so it'd be a 1-to-3 ratio. And that will then give my steel a boost, and that will allow me to basically, it'll just make life an awful lot easier, I think. So let's do that. I can go into this lane. I love this tunnel. I'm slightly concerned about the hump, because I don't know if the trucks will be able to get through there, but we'll see. What are we missing now? Plastic. So I need to come down with some plastic and cabling. I think, actually, I'm going to end this video here, just because I don't really know how long this the internet's going to stay up for, and because I kind of need to have something to eat. So, with that, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I should be able to be doing some hot iron tomorrow, so yeah, I'll hopefully see you then. But with that, so I'll say thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.